वेलकम बैक दोस्तों 100 डेज इंग्लिश स्पीकिंग चैलेंज का आज ये 15वां दिन है। और पिछले 15 दिन से मैं कंटिन्यूसली लाइव आकर के इंग्लिश प्रैक्टिस कर रहा हूँ। आज मैं बात करने वाला हूँ व्हाट इज़ द डेफिनेशन ऑफ लर्निंग इन साइकोलॉजी। साइकोलॉजी के हिसाब से लर्निंग क्या होती है। विदाउट एनी डिले लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड। व्हेन यू गो टू गूगल एंड सर्च द डेफिनेशन ऑफ लर्निंग, then Google says something like this: acquiring knowledge, acquiring skills, being educated. That is called learning, according to Google. But when we see in psychology, when we see the definition of learning in psychology, psychology says that acquiring new behaviors, acquiring new habits, acquiring new patterns, behavioral patterns, habitual patterns, and that takes time. Acquiring new behaviors, acquiring new habitual behaviors, habitual patterns, that takes lots of time. So psychology says that when the conditions are same but your behaviors are changed, your behaviors are changing, that is when you are doing learning. That is the actual learning according to psychology. Learning means change according to psychology. You are changing your past behavior to your present behavior. You are replacing your past behavior from your new behaviors. That is learning. So, what happens in our brain when we learn something? When we are learning something, what happens in our brain? So, our brain is made up of 86 billion neurons. So, when we are learning a particular skill, when we are learning a particular behavior, so basically in our brain, two particular neurons are connecting like this. Two particular neurons are connecting. And if we leave that skill, if we leave that behavior doing for 1 to 2 days or 3 days or 4 days, 5 days, then that particular neuron, the connection between those particular neurons will get weakens and that fades away. So there is a quote that says that repetition is the mother of all learning. So what happens when we repeat something? Because that is says that repetition is the mother of all learning. It means that when we are learning something, when we try to learn something, we have to repeat that thing again and again. We have to put more reps. We have to do something again and again. That is called repeating, repetition. And what happens in our brain when we repeat something? When we repeat something, then our two particular neuron connection becomes more strengthened. Their connections become more strong and strong. And when that connection becomes strong and stronger, then that skill is hardwired in your brain and you can't forget that thing. If you are if you have done enough times of repetition. So that is what happens when we repeat something. And repetition is one of the most important thing when it comes to learning something. Without repetition, you can't learn any new skill, any new behavior, any new habit. So that is why I said, that is why I'm repeating this sentence again and again and again. Like, repetition is the mother of all learning. Because repetition is directly connection. Repetition has a directly connection to our neural paths in our brain. Without making neural connections, we can't do anything. And for every work, for every behavior, for every habitual patterns, for every pattern we repeat in our life, there is a connection. There is a connection that is formed by our brain. Our brain is forming connection between two particular neurons. And when we repeat something, that connection becomes stronger and stronger. And when we leave something, when we left something, that connection becomes weaker. You have heard many people like, okay, this skill, Oh, I knew that skill 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I was pro at it. But right now I have forget that skill. Why he forget that skill? Because he left that skill. He couldn't continue that skill. That is why he forget that skill. I'm giving you one example, particular example. So you know the Rubik's cube, right? So I didn't know when I was studying in class ninth. I was very fascinated about Rubik's cube. So I tried to solve that Rubik's cube, but I couldn't. So I learned the formula. I learned the techniques that how to solve Rubik's cube and how to match all the colors in Rubik's cube. And I was very fascinated about it. So every time I used to do that. Whenever I have free time, I used to match the colors of Rubik's cube, and I try to solve that Rubik's cube. But when I done that thing, when I done solving Rubik's cube enough times, then I get bored of it. Then it becomes like boring. So I left that thing. But after 2 years, when a boy solving Rubik's cube in front of me, I'm saying him like, bro, you are solving this Rubik's cube right now. I used to solve this Rubik's cube 2 years before, and let me see if I can solve it now. So when I started solving that Rubik's cube, I couldn't match all the colors. I couldn't match all the patterns. I couldn't solve that because I've left that skill, and my neural connections became weaker. That is why I couldn't solve that Rubik's cube. So this is what learning is according to psychology. So I hope I कन्वे दिस मैसेज वेरी वेल. अगर इसमें कोई गलती हो, इसमें कोई खामी हो, तो प्लीज़ करेक्ट मी, एंड आई वुड लव टू रिसीव योर फीडबैक. वेल देन, दिस इज़ फरहान शमीमी. थैंक यू सो मच.